The far right is a powerful political force. The far right is a dangerous political force. I have some difficult questions for the far right. The far right is obsessed with narratives of racial superiority and racial inferiority. They claim that racial crime rates demonstrate the validity of these narratives. The far right claims that racial crime rate differences are the result of genetic differences between races. The far right denies environmental explanations. So why then are crime rates so different across Africa? Why do members of the same racial group commit crimes at massively different rates when subject to different environmental influences? If genetics is the cause, how do you explain this? If disproportionate homicide rates justify dislike of African Americans, do they also justify dislike of men? Men commit massively disproportionate amounts of crime. If it is acceptable to demonize all African Americans on the basis of disproportionate homicide rates, then is it not also acceptable to demonize all men on this basis? Are the extreme man-hating feminists justified? The far right claims to value many things. The far right claims to value security. Yet far-right regimes have a long history of starting pointless conflicts that undermine their own security interests. Far-right regimes start pointless wars and often end up destroying themselves. So how then do they value security in any serious sense? The far-right claims to value order, yet chaos always defines far-right regimes. There is no rule of law, there is no consistency or stability. There is unpredictable and brutal violence. How exactly is this compatible with the claim to value order? How is starting massive wars and the chaos they inevitably create compatible with the claim to value order? The far right claims to value strength, yet their ideal society is based on absolute obedience to the leader. Fanatical bootlicking defines the far right state. Those who criticize the leader are imprisoned or executed. Mindless, unquestioning love of the leader is propagated through indoctrination and censorship. People are made the mindless, unquestioning, obedient followers of the leader. Where is the strength in this? And then there is the issue of gender. How can you claim that gender is a biological reality and simultaneously claim that feminine men are not real men? How can you claim that gender is a biological reality and simultaneously claim that masculine women are not real women? How exactly does that make any sense? The far right claims to defend Western civilization. So why does the far right despise freedom, democracy, equality, reason, and progress? It is these Enlightenment ideals that define Western civilization as we know it. How exactly are you defending Western civilization by going to war with the values that define it? How exactly are you defending Western civilization by going to war with the ideals that make it great? The far right claims that homosexuality is unnatural. If homosexuality is unnatural, why do many animals engage in homosexual behavior? If unnatural behavior is bad, why do you regularly engage in unnatural behavior? Why are you sitting on a chair and not in the dirt? The far right claims that nationalism, sexism, homophobia, and racism are all natural components of human society. If these things are natural, why does the far right spend so much time trying to propagate them through censorship and indoctrination? If these things were simply part of human nature, why is it necessary to manufacture them through rigorous indoctrination and intense censorship? If the far-right state is an extension of human nature, why does it have to invest so much energy into shaping popular attitudes? Why does it often fail in spite of these efforts? The far right claim to be motivated by a love of their country. Where is the love in making your country powerless at the mercy of an unaccountable autocrat? Where is the love in risking the survival of your country by starting a pointless war? Where is the love in terrorizing and tormenting your country with brutal, violent authoritarianism? Where is the love in using the fathers, brothers, and sons of the country as cannon fodder in pointless wars? Where is the love in this hideous cocktail of brutal violence? The far-right claim that their autocratic leaders love the people. Why then do they use the people as cannon fodder in pointless wars? Why then do they terrorize, torture, and slaughter the people for the most minuscule crimes? Where is the love in this? The far-right wants an autocracy. Do you think the people are too stupid to rule themselves? Why else would you want an autocracy? These are serious questions. The questions detailed here expose the stupidity of far-right politics. The far-right is very real and very dangerous. The far-right is characterized by authoritarianism, tribalism, a love of war and violence, cult of personality, obedience as the highest virtue, radical thoughtlessness, autocracy. The far right is characterized by a rejection of the liberal ideals of freedom, democracy, equality, progress, and reason. The far right is a threat to all who can suffer. The far right is the enemy of all who can suffer. We must liberate members of the far right from this grotesque philosophical disease of an ideology. We must defeat the far right. That is what we must do.